Hello, Internet. This is going to be a live build session with me, Simon, and my friend Dustin. I've been trying to introduce him to AI coding for a while, and uh, and I've showed him a few videos, but all the videos are like different levels of beginner, and some of them have some of them assume a
I
lot.
don't
So
know anything. That's the
yeah, he
problem.
doesn't know anything. So I wanted to just go through my process, um, just exactly how I do it, and I was just gonna live build something. So we both own a percentage of this company. It's a coaching company, and one of the things that we need to do for this coaching company is we need a CRM. And we can buy a CRM, but these CRMs are crazy expensive, man. The nice ones, close.com, these things cost $300 a month, crazy stuff. So we need to build our own, or I want to build our own. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And yeah, so I'll just go through the process. Because I'm using the microphone on here, I'm going to use my iPad for my conversation. So I told Dustin before, I always start off each thing with a conversation with AI. I go through the general plan with AI, and then we come up with a plan of attack. Um, I'll show one
Which
thing before.
which AI do you start with when you're
I
going
start
through?
with Claude, and I'll go ahead and open up. I'll go ahead and open up. I'll Let me see. Yeah, let's share the screen a little bit. Screen. Yeah, there we go. Tabs. Yeah, so this is it probably looks pretty big. Oh well, it's my one of my other nicknames. But this is Claude. It's claude.ai. It's the web address, and this is my favorite AI to use for conversation. You could also use ChatGPT. It's pretty similar. In my opinion, Claude is a better worker. It comes up with better plans, and it's better trained overall to create projects and to make code and to go back and forth with. That's my personal opinion. Feel free to also use ChatGPT. I do think ChatGPT, I mean, those guys, I think they're geniuses and they'll come up with something that's going to be better than Claude, but it's an arms race right now. But right now, Claude is the best, in my opinion. So, in general, uh, the only thing that I'll add, and this is where we'll get a little bit technical here. Well, no. Let's just start with um, let's start with Claude. Okay. So I got my
So
little Claude
why are
thing
you
here.
starting with Claude? And then when the guide
Good
video we
question.
watched was starting
Good
with a
question. Yes. So
software instead of an AI.
the thing with, if you theoretically you could start with Cursor. I think these AI coders, they work best when you have a plan of attack. Okay.
Yeah, but he was
If you
starting with like
just
V0.
if you say it again.
So he was starting with like V0, and the other video that we watched before he even went to
Yeah.
a Claude or Cursor or some kind of AI, he was starting with just a simple drawing of what he wanted the user interface to look like before he, and then feed that into the AI. So why aren't you doing that? Why are you just starting with straight up
To me,
Claude?
even talking to Claude about it before, it's a precursor, because a lot of the times I don't even know what I don't even know what the idea is. I'm just talking shit. So I mean, the idea can be, I don't even know, I have no idea about any of this thing. So the first step is just to get all of my I just get like a word salad of bullshit out and let Claude digest it and then spit out something. And then Claude, I mean, Claude has the ability to make UI itself, and I'll ask it, and you'll see some examples. Um, One of the yeah. So I'll start talking, and we'll see what I can. All right, hello. I'm going through today. We're creating a CRM. I'm creating a CRM for my coaching business. Basically, right now we have a system where we're buying leads from a website. That website has an API, but we're not actually tracking any of the data of any of these people. We're not tracking what their responses are to the initial calls. We're not tracking how many calls that we make. We're not tracking their personal information as far as, we have this website. Yeah, they when they sign on to this website, they basically enter in like this questionnaire of all this stuff. And I would like to start. I want to get all that data from the questionnaire, and I want to obviously output that in the CRM. So I want to start collecting that data, and I want to start tracking the obviously success rate of our salespeople. So it's kind of a I'm gonna say a lot of bullshit here. I want you to evaluate everything that I'm saying as a senior software developer and as a senior business guy, and I want you to be extremely opinionated. Be raw, be extremely opinionated about my idea, because I really I don't I'm just I don't have any experience at all, so I just need a lot of help. So basically, we have all this data coming in when we buy the leads. We have a salesperson that's calling all of the leads. So we're going to need some way to easily take a note of when our person makes a call. So we need an easy way to add that. We need an easy way to add, like, if the person makes a text, an easy way to add if they do an email. Even better, it would be cool if we could connect, like, if we could get the emails, like whenever we send out an email, if we could connect the email to the CRM and basically automatically connect the email to the lead if we send an email. That would be really cool. Yeah, that would be really cool overall. Also, if we work on Mac computers, we all have Mac computers. If is it possible to pull the messaging data from the Mac? If that's possible, then that would be really cool. That's like a nice to have. That's like a dream. If we could do that, then that would be the best. But like, definitely not in the central things. So we basically need to be able to pull all this data. We need to track all of the actions that are done with each of the lead, and then we need to track obviously the conversions that happen. And that's the level one of the app. In the whole holistic thing, the dream of all dreams would be to track like the customer's path through our organization. So possibly, like, create a profile for them, and then the all the coaches are able to enter the data into but that's and are able to enter like the use per session data in there, and be able to track their progress, and they're able to keep track of testing through there. That's like the dream. So feel free to actually come up with some extra ideas for the dream, and then in general come up with extra ideas for everything, because this is like a pure brainstorming stage. So in the end, yeah, kind of summarize what I'm talking about. Summarize like the key features of all the stuff that I'm talking about, and give me some recommended tech stack for this. Like, what languages, what programs should I be using? If I use AI in any way, I mean, can I use AI in any way? Is it recommended, or do I need it? Do I not need it? And then again, be very opinionated. Yeah, let's start. So as you can see, I word vomit right there. I just tell it everything, okay? And then it starts to come up with stuff. So now I'll show you what it comes up with on my screen. Anyway, you have any? I mean, it's obvious what I'm doing, but I'm word vomiting. I'm telling it everything, and then seeing what it comes up with, and you'll see what it comes up with in a second.
So
But
when
while we
you
wait
were
for it,
talking to it, you told it to act as a senior software developer and business manager,
yes,
and to be hypercritical.
yes.
Have you noticed difference in results if you don't ask for those specifics?
Yeah, in general, these AI, they work better if you give them some context to work through. So I started with just saying, this is just something I learned kind of from just interacting with AI for a while and just watching these videos. The AI works best if you give it a context to work from. So if you say, "Hey, you're a senior engineer," or "Hey, you're a genius businessman," "Hey, you're an Excel wizard," it gives it, because these things are trained with like literally trillions of points of data, like literally everything on the internet. So if you give it some narrower perspective, then it can work for you better. And then on the extra part about being critical, what did I say? Be opinionated. I love that because usually whenever it gives you ideas, it'll give you too much shit, and I don't have the expertise, and I don't care to actually like. I don't want to like look up all this stuff. I don't know anything. So I mean, I know some stuff now, but like in general, when I'm talking, I don't. I just want to. I want it to give me, like as an expert, some stuff. And so when you tell it to be opinionated, it'll give you results, and then it'll actually be, and then it'll actually, give you some stuff. So this is like a good example. So it generated this document of the CRM, of what we want. So CRM systems, core features, lead management, import the leads from an API, score the leads on the questionnaire data, track the lead success in a pipeline, and have a lead scoring system. Communication tracking, sales performance analytics. So these are like the central things. So from that 4 minutes of talking, it pulled in all of this stuff. And then it also grabbed the extra stuff that I was talking about. So full customer journey, session notes from coaches, progress tracking, testing, and then automation features. It's like also nice. Automated follow-up sequences, task creation, notification system. So it actually added this. I asked it for tech recommendations. So this is you will go through some of this and we'll start to refine it. But proposed tech stack. So Node.js with TypeScript. Probably don't know what this stuff means. These are just coding languages, I guess, for lack of a better thing. Front end React with TypeScript, Tailwind for styling, Redux for state management, React query for data fetching. And we'll see, DevOps, Docker for, anyway. So we're going through that. Integration points, so it went through and it's distilled everything down to this. And then because I told it to be opinionated, it said, start smaller. So it's giving some advice. Start smaller. You're trying to boil the ocean. Your vision is good, but you need to narrow your MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product. So this is the minimum version that can be used in the wild. So it's saying I'm doing too much. So focus on lead management and basic communication tracking, and then the customer's journey could be phase 2. Don't try to pull messages from Mac computers. It's a security nightmare. So there it goes. It's like, don't fucking do that. That's a terrible idea. Use the email integration services. TypeScript is non-negotiable for a project at this scale. Interesting. Consider backend as a service like Superbase or Firebase to move faster initially. Don't go crazy with AI. Start with simple implementations. Okay. So from here, I would say, let's narrow the tech stack down a bit. Do we really need all of this to start? Also, as a piece of advice, and I'll show this. Well, I'll show this. Do we really need all this to start? We might. I literally don't know. No, I like your idea for the MVP. What's next? Okay, let me be ruthlessly practical about the minimum thing. Okay, so front end is Next.js, React, single choice, handles everything already. Back end through Next.js API routes, database through Postgres, or you could use Superbase, and then hosting with Vercel. That's it. Seriously, everything else is optional for MVP. And let me break this down. So, okay, so look at that. So that's what I'm saying. Like So make Claude can make UI component. This is called a UI is stands for user interface. Claude can make components. So when you were talking about this guy, he goes to this website called v0.dev to create ideas for the front end. Claude can do it itself. Um, so to start, it gave me this is the idea for the data model. So this is all the leads. It comes in. So it's three databases for.
Going back and forth between that and the what are you clicking on to bring up the UI? That
There's
portion.
these. It generates these. What I don't know what you want to call them. These little tabs inside of this chat.
Okay.
So you can click, and then so it generates. So this is where it'll generate when it'll generate code and everything. This is where it'll generate the code, and this is where you can actually view the preview. So this is the code behind the diagram it just generated. So let me say, my opinionated is use Superbase for your MVP. Don't do this. Don't. Okay, so it's cool. I'll give you. This is a free bit of. Okay, I like this plan. Let's use shad cn UI components for the UI. Make me a mock up of the dash of some of the pages of the CRM. So just for now, this is deep internet. It's not deep internet. Okay, so I'll share this. This is I'm gonna share another part of the screen here. There's something called I was gonna talk about it earlier. This is it is a website. It's basically a guy. There's many websites like this, but this is, in my opinion, the best one, and this is in everybody's opinion on the internet that codes. This is the best one. So ShadCN, this is ui.shadcn.com. This guy basically created templates for every single component, every single thing that you could put on your website. He created it already. So you don't have to remake anything, and the AI doesn't have to remake anything. Everything is already here, and it's been designed, and it looks good already. So if you wanted to make your own mail thing, if you wanted to make your own dashboard, which we're probably using a dashboard, you wanted to make your own task database, everything has been created by this guy already. So you don't need to make anything. So one of the things that if the AI recommends that you use Next.js, which is, again, I mean, this is 90%. I mean, so much of the internet now is on Next.js. It's like everything. This is a web framework.
Explain
Coding
all that
language.
really, because I get that. In some of the stuff I've gone through, I get like the different languages that these sites are written in, but what makes Next.js, or what is it? Why is that one the most popular, most widely used? What does that even mean? Versus what are the other language models that are used, like Python and
Yeah, there's
JavaScript, whatever.
yeah, in general, there's I guess without going too deep. I mean, there's a lot, right?
Go
There's a
deep.
lot. It's
Go
really
deep.
opinionated, but let's say like the most basic website that you can ever have is made of what's called HTML and CSS. So HTML is like just literally, yeah, it's I don't know, it's a language, and then CSS is how it looks. To make it very simple, this just by itself, it's not optimized. Okay, so these new web frameworks, they have these things in them that make your website a lot faster. Uh, so, for example, Facebook is built on React, which is one of these. Basically, what Next.js does is it saves the state of your app or something like that. So basically, if you let's say you enter let's say you're entering your name on some form or whatever, and you're signing up for a website. Instead of like maybe on a normal HTML site, it will it's more logic to reload that information again. Whenever you go back to the website. I guess I'm very bad at explaining it. I don't even really understand it fully, but it
Yeah.
basically saves the state of your website. So basically, when you're clicking between things, it's like it takes 0 seconds because it's already saved. Like the logic, whatever, it's saved. So it just makes everything a lot like way faster, like lightning fast.
So
Before it's fast, but now
this is just a separate set of code that websites are built off of.
yes.
Okay.
I can actually show. I'll show one of the. I built this website on the other week for one of the companies that I work with, uh, as an example. So this is like when you see something like this, where it's just boom, it just goes to the next page. It's just immediate. I'm just clicking it, and it's already on the next page. There's no loading at all. It's just boom, done. It's there. This is Next.js. If you click on something, it's just boom. It's just like two zero less than 0 seconds. It just does everything immediately. Instead of if you ever get on a website and you click on something and then it loads to the next page. If you have something built on in Next.js, you don't have that. Your website is stupid fast, and that's why people build things in Next.js. So so yeah, that whenever you build something, 90% of the time it'll recommend Next.js, and if you use Next.js, then you use shadcn components, and that'll make your whatever you build will look like it's built by a professional already. So let's go back to
Yeah,
CRM
and
and
that's
see what
something
it's.
else we can maybe get into later. But is how are you taking these components like from ShadCN? And how do you take those and integrate? I mean, do they have a library of code that you're just copying the code and just copying and pasting into
Exactly,
your?
and I'll just show you. I'll show you that. Let's. So it gave me basically it's given me like a dashboard idea. So you can see already um, it's came up with this basic thing. Don't love it, but I'm probably not going to use it. But we're going to move on to the next part, which is actually building in Claude. Let me make sure my phone doesn't die real quick. Uh, Let me grab my over here. Let me plug this in real quick with a phone. Okay, so we're gonna actually go to we're gonna go to we're gonna we're gonna export all of this, okay, to uh cursor. And I'm gonna speak it on my thing here
Why are you
uh
exporting the cursor?
because now I want to actually build something out, or I want to start building it out. So
So you
I'm
do all
gonna
your
get it to
building, you do your building in cursor, but you do your planning in Claude.
exactly,
Now, doesn't
exactly.
cursor uses Claude
Yes,
as its AI, doesn't it?
exactly. Yes.
So, okay.
So it's yeah, but I think it's, and there's another. I won't like you already know cursor. I'll yeah, I won't. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. But let's see. So we'll get this here, and I'm gonna tell it. Okay, I like the plan so far. Let's use ShadCN. Let's use Next.js, and then I don't know what else, whatever else you recommended. Let's build out the initial thing. So let's build out the. I want like the dashboard view. Let's use tabs at the top. So I want like a dashboard, a tab, and then I want a leads tab where you can view all the leads, and we'll start with that. Um, and then yeah, maybe on the dashboard page we have uh, I don't know. Maybe on the dashboard page we have some. It's not linked up yet, but maybe we have some actions, like some I don't know some if you can click to like add a lead or add an action or something. but we won't leak logic to it. Anyway, just give me a summary of our plan again with with updated with what we talked about and with the key features and the tech stack and the general implementation plan for the MVP, like all the things that need to be built. Don't give me any code. Just give me the general plan. I'm giving this to my AI developer. Yes, and give it to me in obviously give it to me in a markdown file. Okay, and a markdown file is basically it's a file that the I don't know it's basically it's a type of plain text file that it's easier for for the internet for it's easier for Cursor to read it. So it'll make me this thing. I guess it'll include some code, I guess. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So I'll just refresh this. Okay, so it gave me this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to download it. Okay. And I'm going to share. Let's share my full screen. Let's see here. Let's share my entire screen. I'm going to share down on my little screen down here because it'll be easier for me to work on it. Okay, cool. Cursor. Okay, so this is the screen that Cursor always opens up to. So that you always start with opening a folder. I always create a new folder for my projects. Now I have a folder in my setup for my coding projects. I do recommend that. I don't recommend just to be organized. And I have it in a GitHub. GitHub is man, I don't know. I guess that we could go over GitHub. Well, we'll go over GitHub in a second. Because I'll show some other stuff. But basically, you have a folder you can create it yourself called GitHub. I open it up and then I'll create a folder for this project. So I'll call it UV, which is the name of our company, CRM. And then I'll create that and I'll click open. And so now we have a blank canvas of nothing, right? What do we do now? What do we do now? From here, I take the I'm gonna find the .md file that we downloaded, which this one right here. So it's the CRM plan for coaching. So I'll just drag it into here. So now you can see this is the plan. Okay. I'm gonna rename it just to make it easier to refer to. CRM plan. It's easier to refer to it if it doesn't have any spaces. It's just my opinion. So I won't even do that. So we have a keyboard shortcut. You should know it. If you're going to use Cursor, you should always know it. It's on Mac. It's Command I. I don't know what it is on Windows, but it's Command I. Sometimes, so this is called the composer. This is the thing. There's like 3 parts of Cursor that can write code, so it's a little bit confusing. Okay, one thing it's the first part is the chat. Okay, I don't usually use the chat anymore, but this is the chat. You can just I don't know. You can chat with it, but you don't want to use the chat to create like anyway. The chat is like for if you need to debug something, if you have like an immediate problem, you can go to the chat. But in general, you work from the composer. Composer, if you're in Cursor for the first time, it might be a floating window. It might, who knows? But you can basically, you can make it full screen. You can dock it. You can. This is how it appears sometimes as a. Let me hide this little thing. This is how it appears. Probably if you just first open Cursor, it's like down here like this. I prefer it not to. I prefer it not like that. I prefer it as a window pane like this. It's just my preference. Okay. So basically, whenever I'm starting like this, we already have our plan. So I'll tell it something. I mean, let's read through this. What is it saying? So it's saying a framework, Next.js 14, Shad CN, Tailwind, Superbase. Let's just. So this is one thing. It added. It's giving two options for the database. This is something. It's like you should make sure that it's only one thing. I don't need I don't need authentication. Authentication is basically where somebody's. I could. No, I could have it. It's okay. Authentication is where somebody signs in. So if if you use Google, you can sign in with Google to some things. That's called authentication. So it's like, um, who is? Oh, look at my phone is it's dying. It's dying slow. It's dying fast. Let me see if I can. Uh, uh, that's okay. Let me switch my camera
Always,
to.
always prepared, aren't you?
Yeah, let me switch. Can I switch my camera? Let's plug it into my computer. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Cool. Okay, so Superbase off. Okay, state management. Um, state management. I don't know. We'll leave it with that. Okay, so okay, let's see here. Let's just make sure. I'm just reading through. I mean, sometimes you can catch some stuff early on, sometimes not. Okay, so the first thing we'll get let's get phase one done. Um, Set up the database schema. Okay, okay. Make we are so I'll start. Yeah, we are making a CRM for a coaching uh coaching company. Follow the instructions in so at CRM plan. Follow the instructions in the CRM plan. Um, use. I mean, sometimes I'm being redundant here, but use. Actually, oh, I forgot. Oh my God. Okay, almost forgot. Okay, this is one of the big things. Big things. This is like huge actually. When you're building something using ShadCN or Next.js, you must 100%. If you don't do this, everything will be fucked up. You must start with the. Let me get a new window up. You have to start with. It's called boilerplate. On ShadCN's website, it has instructions to install basically a blank version of the app, and you need that to start because if you don't have that, Cursor will try to create everything from scratch, but it will fuck up and it's not going to work. So you need it's called boilerplate, and it's pretty. Let's say it's. I'll show basically slowly how to get it done. So
Do you
uh,
only do that one time, or is that
yeah,
any time before you're going to import?
if you're starting a new project and you're doing Next.js, you should. It depends on all your frameworks. Like for you can look it up in general, but like for example for Python, there's no boilerplate. You could just fucking let it go. For a lot of stuff, there's no boilerplate, but for Next.js, there is, and you have to use it. If you don't use it, you will suffer and it will not work. In general, you
What's the
might suffer,
function
but
of the
say it again.
boilerplate? What does that mean? What is the function? What's the function of the boilerplate?
Yeah, I'll show you. So let's see here. Okay, so the first thing let's go let's bring up a new window so I can okay. Let's go to Shad CN. Okay. So if you don't know, I mean just Google Shad CN. It's a website, click it, go to usually on any website they have documentation. This is where they have all of the information about how to install, how to get rolling. So here, I would, here, introduction, get started, installation. So we talked about other web frameworks before. These are other examples. There's a lot. And you can look them up. Sometimes maybe you could use one of the other ones. They all have their different uses. They have their pros and cons. You can look them up. If you want, you can even ask Claude, like, hey, what do you think? Next.js, Vite, Remix, Astro, Laravel, like, which one do you think would be best for my project? And be opinionated, and it'll tell you. Yeah, so you can do that. But we're using Next.js, so we're going to click that. And then it gives us some instructions. So, and we'll go through this because this is not it looks complicated, but it's not as complicated as it looks. But it looks complicated. So you start by creating the project on the command line. Okay, I'll show you what we're going to do. So I always just use the defaults, like up here, but we'll walk through it. So we'll start by creating the project just with the defaults, with the default things. Okay, so we'll click. You might have, let's see, you might have to install, if it's your first time doing any of this stuff, you'll have to install Node.js on your computer. Okay, so I would look up, let's see, for install Node JS Mac, and follow. Let's see. What would I? Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. If it's your first time doing any of this, we'll go through all of it. I mean, fuck it, we'll go through all of it. So well, so there's something on Mac basically when you install coding things. I don't know, and then I don't fully understand stuff, so it's just my understanding. When you install coding things, there's something. This it's called Homebrew. This is something. It basically installs. You can use the terminal or the command line on your Mac to install different programs. Okay, so that's just basically the main thing. So to start, you would just, if your first time, you would take this. You would open terminal. And I did that by, sorry, I use these keyboard shortcuts that make life a lot easier. This is command space, terminal. I mean, you could also, I don't know, go to your applications and find it, but command space is the easiest. Command space, terminal. Or, by the way, cursor has a terminal in it, okay? And we'll usually be using the cursor terminal because why would you? We don't need to open another one.
Dude, I don't even know what a terminal is. I don't even know what you're talking
terminal
about.
is I don't. It's this is like the back part of your computer, I guess, something like that. So if you want to, yeah, if you want to mess around with like the settings of your computer on the deep end, it's like in the terminal. It's how to run programs that will affect like your computer deeply, I guess, and without something, yeah, something like that, or to install. So like, there's two ways to install anything. You can just, in general, you can, like, if you wanted to install, let's say, I don't know if Instagram doesn't have an app, but you wanted to install Telegram on your computer, you could install it technically through a terminal, but it's not the point. The basic thing, if you can look up stuff, but I would just, you don't need, maybe you don't need to know the specifics, but just, you need to know what to do in general. So you would need to paste this thing in and install Homebrew. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to install it. But you need to install Homebrew, and Homebrew basically it installs things directly to your computer. Whenever you install like Node.js, for Node is a language. Node, you need Node for all of this stuff. Uh, yeah, so whenever you'll install Homebrew, and then you'll install Node, and basically using this brew install Node. If you ever see brew install, it means that it's using Homebrew and it's installing Node to somewhere on your computer in general. So you have to install Node.js in some way. So I mean, if it's you can, I mean, you can also you can Google all this stuff and they'll probably explain it better. Okay, but because I'm you know whatever. So you have to install Node in order to do this. That's what these commands are. So these are different options to install things. npm is Node. You don't need to know all the specifics, any of this stuff, but basically, if you just download the stuff blind, it will work. Okay, you don't need to know the specifics. You just blindly just install Homebrew, install Node, follow some instructions, and you're good. Okay, so we'll click. This is the copy button, and or you can just copy like this. Control C, whatever. We go over here. We have a terminal. This is where basically you'll be running your programs out of the terminal always. This is how you will run your programs. Whenever the code will be written, and then you'll be like, what the fuck do I do? What's next? You'll have to put a command in here to run the program, and then you'll see the result. And we'll see how it's working. So I'll just paste this, and it's going to install. Okay, we'll watch what it does. Okay, so I just clicked enter. So it's asking, your folder does not contain this file. I mean, you don't need to know what that is, but would you like to create it? A new Next.js project. So basically, this is detecting if I already have a project. If I already have a project, then it would install in the project. I don't have it yet, so it will create the whole thing from scratch. Okay, so I'll click Y. What do I want to name it? My app, sure. And now it's creating the boilerplate. Okay, so it's making basically, you'll see it created this my app right here. And if I click, it's created all of these files and even more files. Okay, and we'll see. I'll run the program at the end, and you'll see what boilerplate means. Okay, so it's installing all the stuff. Okay, so it's installed most of the things. So it says we can go to the next step. So now we can add all of the components. So you can pick individual components. He has all of the components on the side here. Usually I'm lazy and I just click. I just add all of them. So the command is this one. I select
Are
it.
those the components from ShadCN?
Yes, yeah. These are all, and
How did you get those on that sidebar? Okay.
say it again.
So how are all those listed on that sidebar? Did
This
you
is just
download
so
them or what?
this is his website. So you can like preview. So if you want, I mean, to save
Oh, you're in
space
the
in your
website.
project, you can like preview all of the components. What are they going to look like?
Yeah, I got you.
Usually, yeah. So this is so
Yeah.
usually I just
Okay. I didn't see that you switched back and forth. Okay.
yeah
So
yeah
what were you
yeah.
doing?
So, yeah. So I so that I then so we now we have a Next.js app. This is Next.js app. It's fully ready to go. Um, I'll go ahead and add all of his components. Oops, what? Yeah, add all of his components. And then it'll say, so it's asking me which components would you like to add, space to select, A to toggle all, enter to submit. So I could, if I wanted to, I could go through, I could pick individual ones. Oh, I want this one, I need these ones. But usually because we're letting AI build it, like we're letting AI make decisions. So we're just going to give it access to everything. So I just clicked A, to install all of them, and I'll click enter to submit. Actually, so this is a mistake here I made. It's asking this path does not contain a package.json file. Would you like to start a new project? That's a mistake. No, I would not. My mistake here, I'm typing in clear just so I don't have, well, I don't have to do that. Okay. My mistake is that I need to enter into my new project. This is my new project. I'm working in this new folder now. This is my new project. I should be inside of it. Okay. Um, this is so when we're talking, and I digress for 2 seconds. When we talk about coding with AI, there is still like basic commands and basic things that you'll need to kind of learn along the way. And one of them is how to interact with terminal. It's just you have to learn how to interact with it. It is what it is. But one of the things, if you truly don't know what's going on, you're like, well, I don't know. I'll explain. I'll show this for. So one of the ways, if you to get from. So right now we're in this folder. We're in this folder. Let me finder. Let's go to my GitHub, or let's go to my folders here. It's not. It feels. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. It's difficult to. Nothing is truly beginner. You have to have. I don't know. But anyway, so right now this is the folder that I created. Okay, so we can see it like normal. Okay, and this is the React app that I made. Okay, so right now in the terminal we're inside of this folder. So I need to go inside of the React
First
app.
folder. Use your mouse. Can't see it.
Wait, where's I need to go inside of this. So, oh shit, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you see it? Okay. Sorry. So I was in GitHub. I went to my so Uvi CRM is what I made. Right now in the terminal, you can read it through. We're in the Uvi CRM, and then we have this little thing. So that means that we are in this folder right now. We're in this folder. We need to go inside of this folder so we can start working on our app. We need to start building. So, and if we're just navigating with our mouse, we can double click. If we're in the terminal, the way to navigate to a new folder is cd. That's the command, cd. And then you have to type in the name of the folder. So I have to type in cd and then my dash app. That's the name of the folder here. And I click enter. And then I'm in my app. Boom. Cool. And now if I try to install the components and I click A for all, enter, it will check the registry. And now it will recognize that I already have a project created, and it will start to install all of the components. So now it's installing everything. So now we're off to the races. We're almost good. We're almost ready.
Folder open on your Finder app on your computer?
Not on the Finder. The Finder is just to demonstrate like what we're talking about, what it means to. I don't know. I mean, what it means to be in the different folders. It's like basically we're navigating our folder structure the same way we do with our mouse, but we're navigating it through the terminal. So because we can't. There might be a visual terminal out there. I don't know, but but we have to navigate it through our commands.
Okay.
So so updating files. So if we go in here, we'll see a new folder. This is the new folder right here, components, and we see it uploaded all of the different templates that he has. And if we click it, we can see the actual code. So this is the code behind all of his things that he made. So you can see the code. It's in our components /UI folder. Also, it has these two. I don't know what it is, but hooks. Okay, so now I'll show you what did we actually make. What is this thing? What is this thing? So this is boilerplate. So if we read the README, usually if you don't have one, it always comes with the boilerplate. And by the way, whenever you're writing your code, in general. If you don't have a README, or if it's been a while since it's been updated and you don't know what's going on in your code, you can always ask your friend here, the composer, to update your README. But we don't need that yet. So, getting started, first run your development server. So this is how to actually run. This is a website. Like, we just made a website already. This is a website. It's not on. It's not like you can access it from the internet, but we made a website already. So if we put this command in terminal, we'll see the website that we already made. So we're just gonna copy it, paste it. We're gonna run it. Actually, oh, is it gonna run? It might not run because I don't know if it'll run. Let's see. It might not run, but let's see what happens. I didn't do one step, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, so cool. So this is the boilerplate. This is what comes with every single every this is like you made a Next.js app. You get started by editing this page.tsx. Save your things. So this is, they give you this page. This code, I'll show you this code. It says page dot, so we'll go here, like it says app slash page.tsx. So we can look at the code here, app page.tsx. Okay. So we're actually going to fuck around here just so you can see something. This is this code. So let's look at where is this? What does it say? Get. Where does it say it? Get started. Okay. So right here, it actually says get started by editing. I can put anything here. Okay, I can do that. And if I click save, this is a website. So if we edit this thing, we can see the result here. So we can go ahead and we're ready. We're ready for AI to take the thing that we made and make something interesting. Yeah. So we can. So this is running on. I command. I'm holding down command and I command click. You can see if you hold your mouse over it, it'll tell you how to enter your, how to view your preview. This is basically running on my machine is creating like this. I guess if you were connected to the same network as me, then you could look at my website. But right now, no one else can look at this website. It's only on my computer or it's only on my network. So it's not accessible outside of this network right here. So let's. So now we're like 90. We're basically ready to go and start to build something. So basically, if we leave it like this, it will just update the website as we build, which is cool. So you can keep this screen up, and you can watch the changes on the website sometimes. If you want to end this thing and rebuild it, it's Control C. Control C.
This is down the road, but then so
Yeah.
from the point where you get the website how you want it, then what do you do to publish it so it's accessible to everyone
Well,
on the internet?
that's a whole thing. We'll get
Please,
to that.
for
How deep
another
are we? How many minutes? 53 minutes. Okay, that's fine.
just in
Yeah.
general,
In
whatever.
general, you would go to there's like a few methods. One of the easier methods. So these guys, the people who made this language, they have a company called Vercel.com. And this company makes it very simple to just publish your website. Very simple. In fact, we can do it actually. Let's do it. I mean, why not? The steps would be basically so in Cursor, you have these, I don't know, these tabs up here. One of them is this weird looking thing. I don't know, it's like a map thing. What the fuck? Okay. Mm, okay. Interesting. It usually says something like initialize. Oh well, okay. So I guess if you create something from boilerplate, it'll just have this already ready to go. So it has all of this stuff, and then it has the word commit. So this is like well, we'll do one thing. This is a best practice. Well, no, we won't do it yet. We don't need to do it yet. So commit. This is basically we talked about GitHub earlier a little bit for 2 seconds, but we can go over it fully now. GitHub is basically this is the place where if let's say you have like a Microsoft, let's like the analogy may be like Microsoft Word. Okay, you have a Microsoft Word document. You want to save your changes so that whenever if it quits, you have a record of everything. This is basically the save your changes for code. The reason why you have this is basically whenever you have, of course, you're saving your stuff on your local computer. But the best practice is that when you get a stable version of your app, you want to save that stable version completely somewhere else so that because you're gonna be fucking around with your code and you're probably gonna fuck it up. You're gonna fuck some shit up, and you're gonna be like, well, what the fuck? And if you don't have a GitHub, you're kind of fucked because you have to Control Z and figure out how to get to back to the working version, and you're never gonna get it. You're gonna have to start over. So the best thing to do, and it's a good thing to do right now, we have something that works.
Instead of just saving to a local drive on your computer, what's the difference?
The basic thing is that the local drive on your computer, it like right now it's saved. But if I fuck or if I if I could change a bunch of things, it's you can't roll back. So these are all individual files. I don't know. These are all individual files. So if I make a bunch of changes, usually, I mean, especially I'm coding with AI, it's changing a bunch of different files. And if it fucks up something, I may not know what file that it fucked it up in. So let's say it fucked up something. I don't know where it fucked up. I have to Control Z. You can do that through multiple files to get it back to whatever state. And I don't know what was changed in different files. I don't know. I don't know. So it's better to have a save point for all of your files. So that way in the future, when you make a bunch of changes and then shit is fucked up, what you do is you can come over here and you're like, listen, I just tried to do a bunch of things and it didn't work. You come over here and you have this little thing that says discard all changes. I'm not gonna. It's gonna give me a dialog box. I'm scared if I press it. Yeah, if I click it, it's like it'll roll you back to that save point. So you don't have to go through every file and figure out. It'll roll you back to that 100% save point on all of the different files. Because look at how many files we made. We made 56 files. You're not finding your way back to 0.0 in 56 files. It's just not going to happen. So so this is the best practice is to get make an account on GitHub. There's other. GitHub is like the main one. By the way, all this stuff is free. GitHub is free. Yeah, it's like yeah. So you'd press commit. Usually it asks you, this is your commit message. So usually you put something about what's happening here. So so I would say created boilerplate with shad CNUI, something like that. The next version, I could say something like everything, and I would give maybe some detailed notes like I made this everything works right now, and I would write it like everything works right now. The next things I'm gonna do is this. I just added the CRM data API endpoint, and it works. Next, and so on. So this is where you'll make notes of your whatever you save. So you give your note, you press that button, and then you click publish branch, and it'll ask you the first time you do it, it'll ask do you want to make it a public or private repository? Repository is just the name of the project, I guess. I'm gonna name it UV CRM, and I'm gonna. Usually, I just make it public because when you make it private, there's a bunch of shit that you have to do, and it's just complicated, and no one's looking at your shit anyway. No one cares. Okay, so I'll press publish to branch, and now if I now I can open it up and I can see my project is here on GitHub. It's here on GitHub. This is the README file, components that we talked about. All the components is here. Cool. So now, anytime that I want to save, like permanently save, I just go over to this page. It's over here. Commit and go forward. Yeah. Any questions about GitHub or anything like that? Maybe it's pretty simple. Before we build something.
Wow.
So this is like all the basics. It's and then by the way, I mean all the stuff I've talked about. You could just take a day and just
Well,
just
so here's what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do a we'll have to do another one of these, but it'll have to be where I'm doing the building and you're just talking me through it.
right. Well, go through. Let's say we'll obviously go off and attempt some things, and obviously we have a thing next week, of course. I mean, we can meet sooner, of course. But yeah, go. I mean, research some of the stuff. Look up
Yeah.
homebrew, install the homebrew, install the node, try to install boilerplate, and if you can get through all that, that's solid. You're somewhere if you can get through all that and install boilerplate. You're like, you're somewhere. If you can do that, because you'll probably fuck it up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how. I've fucked up so many times on everything. It's just after literally restarting projects, and I have a couple videos on my YouTube channel about me like almost crying about fucking a lot of these things. It's just from
Yeah.
literally running Command I, which is the running the composer over and over again, trying to build something, and then it fucking up, and like having to start over, and then starting over again, starting over on the same project like 4 times, 5 times, and then figuring out, oh fuck, well, what the fuck am I doing? You start with the boilerplate, and then it actually might you have a chance of it working. Okay, oh, wait. Also if you bring in your plan as an MD file and tell it to, if you plan it everything out first, it's a little bit, so
There'll
but
be all those
so
little nuanced things that that you went through and I heard you, but until I go through and do it
yeah,
myself,
exactly. So it's like everything I'm saying is like it's like try you like go and research all of it. You should know generally what homebrew is, and homebrew is a little bit scary, by the way, because in my opinion, because it's like you're installing shit on like I don't know on your computer, like deep. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like on your
yeah,
computer, so it's like just generally understanding because like if you install bullshit on there you could kind of fuck up your computer in a way you can you're not going to but like you can fuck up your computer by like fucking around on that level we're on like the level of your computer of like modifying like system files so
yeah.
like understand what homebrew is generally you're good you're just gonna you're using homebrew it's scary though just but look it up homebrew and installing stuff on terminal anyway, so let's try to build let's take like 20 minutes, let's say like last 15 minutes and try to like build something and see what happens. Uh so let's say I'm we are building a CRM for a coaching company. Um let's say follow instructions and references in you can misspell stuff it doesn't matter in at I'm gonna add my little file so I click the add button and then it'll what's cool about this is what makes cursor so cool you can refer to your plans so by the way when you saw that guy create his like v0 code if you create your front end, your like little if you have everything what it looks like, you can put it in here and then, hey, follow the instructions. Also, this is what it looks like, and it'll follow it. But we didn't do that. So follow follow the instructions and references in CRM plan. I already created boiler, next JS and shad CN CN boilerplate. I don't know. Let's go. Okay. I'm scared, but let's go. So, see what it does. So, I'll help you. Yeah, so this is where, cursor will just go do its thing and be making shit. I don't like that it's making stuff. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, whatever. We'll see. So then so it made a bunch of stuff already. Next steps will be Superbase authentication. I don't think I want. Let's skip authentication for now. Let's make let's do 3 and 4 with dummy data. Authentication, when you're testing, when you're making the first app, it's like no one needs to log in. Like we're just testing, we're just making the app. Like you can have login like later. Authentication is like something you add at the very end. But again, so it's
What does the
making
authentication do?
it's basically when somebody logs into your app, it first of all it like basically tells the app who's looking at the app. So it's like whenever you log into Facebook, it's called this like the login to Facebook. It's authentication. It's like who are you? Who is this person logging in? So basically, you now have a functional dashboard. Uh, let's see if anything changed. Okay. Update the okay, so it compiled. Okay, so it's still showing this. So I don't like that. So it's still showing this. I want it to show what it made. So I'm gonna say, so you can talk to it like a normal, it's like the main page of the app is still showing boilerplate. Can you update it to show what we made? Yes, make the leads management page. Usually, you give it one task at a time, but sometimes I want to see an update. So we're gonna keep this open for a second, and it should. You're also seeing like down here. If I click refresh, it'll recompile the code, and well, you don't need to know what that means, but like it basically will rerun the code and show the update. So it's creating it's created a new leads table, new leads filter, adding some dummy leads to the data, and then create the leads page. Oh, let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's reload it and see what happens. Oh, nothing. I don't like it. Okay. Uh it's still only showing boilerplate the default next JS on the main screen. Fix. Yep. The issue is they need to update the route layout to get the correct paths. So page to redirect will redirect to the dashboard page. Yeah, should be correct. Cool. And let's see if it did it. Oh my god. Let's 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 see if we need to just run it again and see if if it. So that's, I mean, that's the type of thing where it's like, it didn't fucking do it, didn't do it, didn't do it. Okay, let's see what's going on. So it's compiling. Let's see if it updates now. Oh my god.
Comes in.
Still only showing. Give me some exclamation points. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes these, okay. Run these commands in your terminal. Maybe, okay. Okay, let's try this. npm install is like making sure that everything's installed that needs to be installed. Let's follow what it says. So clear your next folder. So cleared, and then it's telling me to run these. So I'll just click it and run it. While creating the optimized production build, it shouldn't be doing that. All right. Well.
All right, let's table it there.
All right. Well, yeah. So that's a solid. I mean, that's wait. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, that's what is it? Yeah, at an hour. Good gracious. That's the basics of how to basically get up and running with Cursor. Highly recommend. I love Cursor. Beautiful. I've been using. Yeah, I love Cursor. The stack is, yeah, the stack works. I've used it for a bunch of things. But yeah, it's
Yeah, like I said, I got to do. You just got to do a walkthrough with me, letting me drive while you navigate, so I can get the flavor.
I don't mind, but I also, in my opinion, with all this stuff, you gotta suffer. So definitely try and suffer a little bit. You know.
Have suffered a little bit. I'm sure not as much as you, but
Yeah, and
I'll keep
but
rolling with
based on,
it.
I mean, you can watch it. I mean, you can watch it back, try to like follow along, I guess, to some whatever extent, do whatever the thing is, and yeah. If anybody, anybody watching this, I'll upload this to my YouTube. If anybody has questions, put it in the comments. I answer all the things, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, in the next week or so, we'll do another live build, like an hour-long thing with Dustin, and we'll see what
Yeah,
he'll do some stuff on his own. He'll
a
come
little
back,
more.
and then he'll he's a rookie. He literally has never made anything. I've been around the coding sphere for a while, so it's like, but now I can actually make stuff because I never wanted to learn like fully how to code. I learned a little bit, but I know enough to be dangerous a little bit. But he's complete rookie, so it'll be nice. Anyway, that's good. We'll end it. We'll stop the recording here.